Story, the search for little Daisja Weaver, and it's a sad update on the missing girl. Cops in Dallas have suspended the search for the 9-month-old. The little girl disappeared last week. A little refresher on this. Daisja's mother claims she was abducted while the family was moving apartments. Someone tried to sexually assault her. Well, since then, the mom has admitted that was a lie. She claims the dad actually dumped little baby Daisja in a nearby lake. Both parents were arrested earlier this week. Now mom's claiming she was a victim of abuse and she was forced to cover this up. We'll take your calls. 1-877-TEL-HLN. Joining me to talk about this, HLN law enforcement analyst Mike Brooks, our clinical psychologist Dr. Jeff Gardner, and on the phone, a reporter for the Dallas Morning News. Welcome back, Scott Goldstein. Scott, first off, why'd they stop in the... Oh, Scott's not with us. We hope to have him back. Mike, I'll ask you. You've been involved in recovery before. Why would you stop the search when you have the information from mom that says dad tied little baby Daisja to a sandbag and threw her into the lake?
That's a great question, Mike, because apparently they drove on their way home from work after he picked her up the day after that they allegedly killed the baby, or they found the baby dead in the apartment. But you'd be able to pinpoint exactly where the car was when they tied her to the sandbag and threw her off this bridge. So, they've got to know exactly the general area, but maybe they've searched there, cannot find anything. And, the other day, Mike, we were talking, I was asking, whether or not they had actually given the mother a polygraph to see if she is, in fact, telling the truth. Maybe that happened. Maybe she's not telling the truth. I don't know. I mean, it's surprising to me that they did stop the search.
Okay. Jeff, obviously, investigators, you go back to the mom here, Tamara Krieg. She's told the different stories. How are you going to zone in here and get the truth out of her?
Well, it's going to be very, very difficult, because I think what it is that her defense is saying, her lawyers, is that perhaps she had some sort of post-traumatic stress disorder or battered woman syndrome, because the father of the child was so violent with her that she was a victim of this domestic violence and therefore was afraid, was in shock, didn't know what she was doing, and in fact did not participate as much as she said that she was. So if she has this real mental instability, if she is a victim of domestic violence, what she needs, what we need in order to get the truth from her, Mike, is time. Being able to sit with her, being able to calm her down, getting her to stabilize, and getting her to know that we are her friends and want to get to the truth of this and want justice for her baby. Then she might open up and tell the truth, or a consistent truth.
Mike Brooks, how much time do you have, though? Because you have to find little Daisja, right? I mean, you need a body to really move forward in this case, don't you?
You do. I mean, they've got the statements, her statement, but to determine cause of death, you're going to need to find the baby's body. Okay,
let's bring in Scott Goldstein, Dallas Morning News. Scott, good to have you back. A couple of things. First off, do you know why they're calling off the search right now?
Yeah, basically what they're telling us is they combed the area underneath the bridge where the baby's father is accused of throwing the baby off, and they're saying they've done all they can in that particular area based on the information they had. They did a search for 4 full days in what they've described as pretty treacherous conditions, very little visibility, and just hadn't found her. And so at this point, they're suspending it, and if they get new information or new evidence, they're open to doing more searching, is what they're saying at this time.
Scott, from what you gather, do they still believe that story? Do they still think that's sadly where little Daisja is?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the best, what they have to go on at this point. Of course, they'll note that their information is coming from somebody who lied to them for 4 or 5 days before she came forward and recanted her initial story. So obviously they got to take what information they're getting with a little bit of a grain of salt. They just today also called off the Amber Alert that had still been in place. But yeah, I mean, they're still looking for more information. They have a $15,000 reward still in place, and they're definitely still making an appeal to the public for new information, because, like I said, what they're getting is from somebody who's not really particularly credible based on what she had told them for several days leading up to Saturday, when she came forward and told a different story.
Has she taken a lie detector test?
As far as we know, I don't know the answer, certainly to that, but I'm not sure.
Okay. One last one, Scott. She's claiming she's a long-time abuse victim at the hands of Alondis Weaver. Can you corroborate that, or any stories out there that say, yes, that's the truth?
Well, at this point, it's still basically what her attorneys are alleging.
Okay.
We never saw any record on his part. They're both pretty young, but there was no Dallas County criminal record. So far, we haven't seen any documented evidence on that front. But there is a series of allegations coming from the mother's attorneys.
Okay, we'll continue to follow this story. Scott, appreciate it. Mike, Jeff,
Thanks.
You as well. Coming up.